Good evening, Professor. I'm Jia Liu. My major is Chinese language and literature. I have been working as a Chinese teacher for 5 years. I would like to devote myself in teaching, which is very meaningful like a nurse. I could help others. EFCT and grade and teachers' competence and attitude, the three documents offer teachers the authoritative support and reference. EFCT generally describe in a macro aspect and theoretically explain why I needed to do this, and a grade instructs specific requirement. Last thing is the paper present the research finding through the analyzing of CLEO teachers in practical CLEO project. After that, I know after the training, CLEO teachers how to assess themselves and express their opinion on advantages, disadvantages, future prospect of CLEO. And I want to answer the third question first, which one the most important. EFCT and grade both are very useful and necessary. I suggest to read them in order. First EFCT, second grade. It is also depends on your role. If I'm a CLEO beginner or CLEO program manager, EFCT explain in a macro frame and background of CLEO. It gives me some theories like what is the curriculum, integration is challenge, and different function of assessment. Though the important macro and comprehensive conception told me the direction, why I need to do like this. Meanwhile, grade told me how I could be a CLEO teacher. If I'm a CLEO teacher, applying it in classroom, urgently I need it. It instructed me concrete if I needed to improve or study in some specific competence. And also it gives me confidence. Okay, in this area I'm qualified according to the document. It gives a way to achieve which competence and which level should I concentrate. For example, like language, I'm not a native speaker, but I could achieve to explain, present information, give instruction, and I need to improve critical, disputation, presentational, those things. And the competencies which I already acquired, I think that is the second reason why I love teaching. I love develop myself in a personal dynamic path. It's research, inquiry, reflection, and evaluation. I need to learn and update my knowledge in lifetime. My student and me, we influence each other mutually in a very positive way. It attracts me because it develops dynamically. And I think I have already acquired the evaluation competence, including applying assessment and the whole procedure I know. Formative and summative assessment. Formative ones support the student to learn in the future and encourage them. Summative one, I need to be able to prepare student in a very formal examination, which is very important for their future and work. And I have a teaching experience, so I could do it. It's very constructive theory to distinguish them in Asian student education system. We lack of the constructive assessment to promote ability, and many students only judged themselves by summative one. And using the language of learning activities competence, I'm in the process of acquiring. I'm able to use target language like English and Chinese to explain, present information, clarify, check understanding, but I needed to prepare abundant language content and pay attention to forms. In areas like exploratory, disputation, critical, presentation, I think prepare, classify those materials. It could support and foster cognition development of my students in applying and creating level, like discussion, paper research, presentation. And competence of having knowledge and awareness of cognition and metacognition in the CLEO, I think I'm developing. I need to know more, study more, because I don't know them systematically. It's just some methods I know. I could scaffold learning like from lower to higher, remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, create, but I don't think I do well enough. Not every my student could achieve that. In value and create, most of them cannot, but when I teach IB program, majority of students they can, so I need to improve. And most difficult things is integration competence. I don't have, I need to develop, and this also one of the two most important competence, I think. I'm experienced teacher, therefore integrate content and learning skills, or language and learning skills, both are okay, but integrate language and content. And it should be okay for student level. I need to learn it. In the class, teacher said, we, like the DJ, adjusted those three things, but in my head, no idea. I was watching a Cleo class before, physics and English, very excellent, integrating devices, content, and English. But what about the grammar, and what about the time? 3 documents, all of them didn't talk about the time. So whether I could design the teacher course in a limited time, my student could compete with normal student in content aspect, I needed to know more. And for language and learning skills, I'm sure they are the best. Second, because of the reason I can't design a Cleo course, I needed to learn. Designing Cleo course, this competence I didn't have because of the integration competence, but inside some small competence like assessment, like I could do, and the fostering of bigs and CAPS language abilities, I could do it. Very important part, continue to talk about integration ability, and the teacher needed to with multiple expertise, at least do subject knowledges, and how to integrate them, and how to enable and empower students to develop cognition. And it's very tough. I think for achieving this purpose from grade, team cooperation is also very important. Cleo teacher needs to preserve their own professional concern and needs, meanwhile accomplish training goal and successfully sharing tasks in common. Team support will be more realistic than searching a perfect teacher who knows them all. And second important competence I feel special is promoting cultural awareness and intercultural ability, view content through different cultural perspectives. I think it is very important because Cleo could be an excellent way to help students in the border regions and solve increasingly visible regional and national conflict. Teachers should hold a neutral, open mind and inclusive position and deliver multicultural values and global vision. Students are the masters of the future. Cleo teachers should be the bridge of different cultural perspectives. In the grade, it means teacher need to have students view things by the eyes of target language and learn the language, learn the people, learn the culture, and switch the cultural code behavior in a right way. I love this idea, like promoting exchange students from other regions to countries like Barcelona and Madrid. If students could exchange 3 to 6 months mutually, it is opportunity to solve misunderstanding and division. Catalan is national official language, but local culture which deserve to be conserved. Castellano is national language as well. Is there a conflict between those two languages in our system? Why we are okay to learn English, but we are not okay to learn the two languages? The two region has conflict. I think in the education area we could solve it. The same situation I feel very painful and very worried about Hong Kong in China. The newer generation has a hostile attitude against their country, and I think so Cleo is a wonderful window to make up the crack and wood. It's super important for Cleo teacher has competence to build the bridge. The conclusion is though the 3 documents of Cleo demonstrate Cleo program and the qualified competence of Cleo teacher in a macro frame and in specific requirement respectively. They offer an official and authentic community to support our teacher to do evaluation and do research, challenge teacher and give strong confidence to teacher. So although as a Cleo teacher may not achieve all the conditions, but I needed to try my best to be qualified close to the requirement. Personally, the Cleo teacher's study guide for the lifetime as well. I needed to reflection after practical Cleo teaching and improve. I needed to do innovation based on them. And the Cleo high standard for teacher, it is a good opportunity to sharpen those competence or efforts are for benefiting students.